Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. So today let's prepare a very authentic South Indian recipe of egg curry. And this curry goes fantastic with all dishes like you can have it with a dosa, idli, with a parota, chapati, even with white rice. It goes fantastic with everything. So let's start the process by boiling few eggs. Here I have been boiling 7 eggs in the egg boiler, and you can also boil it in normal boiling water like we usually do. Let's start the recipe by taking some chopped onions, garlic, grated coconut, turmeric powder, chopped tomatoes, dried badgi chilies for the color, dried guntur chilies for the heat, some dhania seeds or coriander seeds, poppy seeds, as well as some whole spices. Here I have taken some bay leaves, cinnamon, clove, and a small star anise. Now we need to dry roast all the ingredients and make it into a fine powder. So let's start with the dry roasting the badgi red chilies. As you can see, I have retained the stalks of the chili. This is only so that the seeds will not come out while roasting that. So let us roast it for a while until the chili becomes a little bit crunchier. So let's keep it aside. Now to the same pan, let us add the Guntur red chilies and fry it in a similar way, and just keep it aside so that the other ingredients can be dry roasted. Now let's add the dhania seeds and fry it over a medium flame for about 2 minutes and keep it aside. Now let's dry roast the whole spices as well in the similar way, and let's keep adding it to a bowl to be ground later. So let's add the poppy seeds as well and roast it for a minute or two on a medium flame. Now let's add a couple of tablespoons of oil into the same pan and heat the oil well. Now that our oil is heated, let's now add the garlic and the onions together and fry it for a minute or two until it slightly changes color. Let's add a little bit of salt to the onion so that it will help it cook a little better and faster as well. Now that our onions are fried well and have started to change color, it is now time to add the tomatoes, and along with the tomato let us add a very little bit of salt as well to help in the cooking process. As you can see that our onion tomato mixture is cooking away beautifully, it is now time to add some turmeric powder and continue to cook it. Now it's time to add the grated coconut. Let's mix it well together and fry it further for another couple of minutes. We have fried the mixture for another couple of minutes. Now it's time to turn off the heat and let it cool. Now let's take off the stalks from the chilies and add it to a blender so that it can be ground into a very fine powder. Now let's add all the other ingredients to the blender, that is our whole spices, the poppy seeds and the dhania seeds, and let us grind it into a very fine powder. Now that all our ingredients are ground into a very fine powder, it is now time to add our onion, coconut and the tomato mixture, and then blend it into a paste that will form the base of our gravy. You can use required amount of water to bring it to this type of consistency. Now let's start preparing our gravy. Let's take a large pan and add a couple of tablespoons of oil and heat it really well. Now that our oil is heated up, let's add the sliced onion to it and let us fry it for a couple of minutes. Now let's add some salt to it, mix it well together and fry it further until it just starts to change color. Now that our onions are fried well, it has started to change color. Let's add the gravy base to it. Let's mix it well together and bring it to a boil. Now it's time to add some water. Let's wash the blender jar to mop up all the gravy and add it to the curry and continue cooking the gravy base. Now this is the perfect time to adjust the seasoning. Let's add a little bit of salt as per your taste and let's continue to boil it for another few minutes. Now that our gravy is cooked beautifully, it's now time to add the split green chilies. This gives a very beautiful flavor to the entire dish, and also let's add the sliced tomatoes. So we don't have to cook it over a long period now. Let's just cook it for another 2 to 3 minutes until the tomatoes are soft enough. So finally, now it's time to introduce the eggs into the gravy. Let's take the boiled eggs, make a small slit into the eggs so that the gravy can penetrate deep into the eggs. Let's introduce all the eggs into the gravy and cook it for another couple of minutes, and our gravy is finally done. So friends, our beautiful and spicy and very tasty egg curry is finally done. You can enjoy it with everything and anything you like. Please make it at home and please leave a comment below.